Anxiety. Well, of all the mental health problems, anxiety is the commonest. It has a 12-month prevalence. That is, the likelihood of someone having an anxiety problem in the previous 12 months is of the order of 15%. And there's a lifelong prevalence of about 35%. That's nearly 1 in 3 Australians will be developing an anxiety disorder over their lifetime. And currently, there are nearly 2.5 million Australians who suffer from anxiety. So if you have anxiety symptoms, you are not alone. This is a problem that is shared by many, many people. And although many people with anxiety, of course, are shy and reluctant to come forward because of the condition that they have, it's very important to remember that it's a condition that's shared with many other people. Sadly, it is such things as shyness which cause people with anxiety to only present for treatment in about 20% of cases. So in about 80% of cases with people with anxiety, they seek no treatment at all. The features of anxiety are that it begins generally early in life and that it tends to run a chronic, that is a long-term course. So it begins early and it lasts for a very long time. This is a very long sentence to have, suffering anxiety symptoms without treatment. So it's imperative that you seek treatment, and you're not one of the only 20% of people who come to treatment for anxiety. It's a condition that's commoner in women than in men, and it's also associated with a number of other problems. In about 1/3 of cases, people have other mental health problems, such as depression, or they may have physical problems. They may have chronic pain, for example, chronic backache, or other chronic medical problems which cause anxiety. Now, what are the symptoms of anxiety? Well, you can really divide them into 3 different groups. Those associated with feeling, that is, you feel anxious, you feel terrified, you feel frightened, you're apprehensive. And the second group are the physical symptoms. You can feel hot and flushed, you can notice your heart's racing, you can feel sweaty, you can feel dry in the mouth, you can have bowel disturbances, often with diarrhea or symptoms of nausea, and you can often have a tremor so that your hand will be shaking. And then there are the cognitive symptoms of anxiety. And the cognitive symptoms of anxiety mean that you don't concentrate and you don't attend to things very much because you're preoccupied, because you're so anxious that your cognitive performance has been overwhelmed. Now, what are the types of anxiety? Well, there's a number of different sorts of anxiety that are formally diagnosed. You can have a condition called generalised anxiety disorder. You can have panic disorder, separation anxiety disorder, agoraphobia. You can have specific anxiety symptoms which are associated with phobias. For example, fear of mice, fear of spiders, fear of social situations. Or you can have obsessive compulsive disorder, where there are very high baseline levels of anxiety. Now, with treatment, anxiety conditions are eminently treatable, and Grow Wellbeing has a raft of holistically based treatments that will help you with your anxiety symptoms. Now, this is not a complete list, but some of the treatment methods used will be CBT, cognitive behaviour therapy, and this aims to identify a template or a way of looking and viewing the world which is essentially your style of thinking, which creates anxiety, which creates issues about why you worry, why you can't relax, and why you're tense. And by addressing that template, it gets to the heart of the problem of anxiety. It also will help you with relaxation. It will help you with mindfulness. That is, paying attention to what's going on in your circumstances at a particular time. And if you are able to learn to do that, then of course those preoccupying voices and thoughts that are so characteristic of anxiety will disappear. And it will also help you with education, because understanding anxiety is absolutely fundamental. Because one of the main problems in anxiety is that people feel so overwhelmed they can't cope. And a very simple aspect of psychoeducation is to recognise that the only thing you're frightened of is fear itself. Nothing catastrophic is going to happen. It's only fear of fear. And the final thing that I think I should say is that the staff who will help you deal with your anxiety are all fully accredited by APRA. That is the body that regulates and monitors all registration of health professionals in Australia. Because of that, you can be guaranteed of the highest quality, competent treatment, which is professional and shows the highest level of integrity, and the treatment will cost you nothing. There are no out-of-pocket costs. So remember, if you're a person who suffers from anxiety, do seek treatment. If you don't, the condition very likely will become chronic, and with treatment, it's entirely amenable to a very good outcome.